Welcome to the College Football Prediction Roundtable, presented live here on the Bleacher Report app, where we give you the predictions for some of the top games this coming weekend. We've got a great slate of games. We're excited to talk about it with you all. I am Jay from Unfair Sports. We've got Steven from Fanatic Perspective, Ty from Around the Table Sports, and Nino from Nino's Corner. Gentlemen, y'all ready to talk some ball?
Let's get after it, Jay.
Let's get it.
Let's go. Make sure y'all hop in the chat and let us know which games you are picking on this week. So we're going to go ahead and get right to it. And then we're going to go to our final picks as well as the standings and see who's been cheating this entire time. So first game item up for bid. We're going to jump into Washington playing against Indiana. Going to Bloomington, guys. Washington, now see, Indiana's a 6.5-point favorite right now. And this is a quick one. We're going to jump quickly into this, and I'm going to be honest. I love what Indiana's doing. But Indiana had a quarterback change. Curtis Rourke is out. They've got Taven Jackson, the former Tennessee commit, who transferred there this past year once, the Nico Yamaleava situation started up. So I'm going to be honest. I think Washington comes in here and gets us an upset. It feels like this is the right game for them. The way that they played against Michigan made me believe, Washington might be turning a table. I don't know if it's not going to be a blowout, but I believe it's going to be close. But I think Washington wins it with a field goal. Steven, who you got?
Jay, I'm sticking with Indiana here. I like what Coach Kirk Cignetti has been doing there. He seems like another Kalen DeBoer type coming up from JMU and what he's been doing. I think that they figure out how to keep their run game going. Think about how proficient they've been. And Curtis Rourke was one of my Heisman dark horses with how he'd been playing. He had been playing that well. But Indiana is going to come in this game and show you why they are a complete football team. This is not the week they go down. Eventually they will need a Curtis Rourke, not this week. I'm sticking with Indiana here, Jay.
I like that. Ty, who you got?
I got Indiana. Indiana, listen, that Rourke injury, that's unfortunate. That guy has been on a tear this season, and I was hoping to continue to be able to watch that. But it's not just about this offense, gentlemen, and I think that's where a lot of people, when they look at Indiana, they can think, oh, this is a great offensive team. They are. They have the number 7 total defense in all of college football. This is a complete football team. Complete football teams find a way to win. I've been impressed by Washington this year. I really have. So this is no disrespect to the Huskies. I just think Indiana is that team.
Nino, wrap us up.
Man, look, I got Indiana too as well. Just like Ty said, it's the 7th-ranked defense in the country, 2nd-ranked defense in their conference. Very balanced offense to run the ball extremely well at about 5.5 yards per clip. Give me Indiana.
All right. Now, next game, let's jump into it a little bit. We've got Notre Dame traveling to East Rutherford, New Jersey to play against the Navy Midshipmen. In this game, Notre Dame is a 13.5-point favorite. I'm going to be honest, when I saw that spread, I was like, this feels a little disrespectful. Navy has come in here, one of the 2 service academies that are ranked this year. I think it's the first time in like 50, 60 years or something like that. Absurd. That triple option's working, and they play hard. Notre Dame, though, they've been showing out ever since they lost that game in Northern Illinois. They've been actually coming out and closing out on games. Riley Leonard's not playing too bad a ball. I'm going to say this. It's going to be a close one, but I'm going with Notre Dame. Gentlemen, give me your analysis. Steven, who you got?
I like Notre Dame here as well. I think what happened with Northern Illinois is starting to turn into a positive for this team in a weird way, and what they've learned and grown from their loss. Notre Dame's had to face different types of schemes and offenses, and we know what it's like trying to install keys in 1 week. But Navy is a team they play pretty much every year, right? So they are used to going through this process. It's not like they play a triple option team every once in a blue moon. So I like Notre Dame here. I do like Navy to cover. I agree with you about the point spread being disrespectful. I definitely, and shout out to the service academies and those, protecting us. They have been fantastic this year. But sadly, I got to pick Notre Dame here to win the game.
All right, Ty, who you riding with?
Yeah, we might need to switch the order in which Steven and I go, because I really don't have much left to say after that. I agree on every single level he talked about. I love his point. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a new thing for Notre Dame. They play this offense. They're familiar with this offense. This Notre Dame defense is good, and they just got done playing a Georgia Tech team that really wants to run the football. Now, in a different manner, I grant you that, but still the basic philosophy is we want to run the football. I like Notre Dame's defense to get it done, and like Jay said, like Steven said, it's utter disrespect, the 13.5 points. This is a good Navy football team.
Yeah, they brought the triple option back, and man, it's come back with a vengeance. Nino, who you riding with?
Hey, man, clean sweep, come fade us, man. Give me Notre Dame. No disrespect to the Navy. I am Air Force, though, so, hey, Navy, it is what it is. But look, hey, man, look here, man. Navy's been a great story
Was
this
that
year,
a shot?
man. Nah, it's not a shot. No shots taken.
They all throw shots at each other, Ty. All these service people. That's one thing I've learned. They love to throw shots at each other.
Oh, I'm stoking the flames right now.
It is what it is, man. Great story by the Navy, man. They're starting off 7-0. They already got a bowl game. But, man, look, I like Notre Dame's defense, man. Too strong. 10th ranked defense in the country. Give me Notre Dame.
All right. Now, this one we're going to kind of breeze through, but I feel like this is probably the most disrespectful line in today. We've got BYU traveling cross country to play against UCF. Gentlemen, UCF is a 2.5 point favorite in this game. BYU's undefeated. UCF is a 2.5 point favorite? Okay, I'm taking UCF. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the suspense. It makes no sense for UCF to be a favorite in this game. BYU's undefeated. They've been cooking everybody, but there is a problem that BYU has. Last week, they couldn't stop the run. Doak award-winning running back Ollie Garden got his second 100-yard rushing game this season against BYU. They ran for over 200 yards in that game. Oklahoma State did, and they can't run. They can't do anything right. UCF rushes for 300 yards a game. Feels like we're starting to see a little bit of a little crack in that armor. UCF's going to try to run it down their throat the whole time. KJ Jefferson should protect the ball for a change, but I think that they're going to run it down their throat. Give me UCF. I hate saying it because BYU has been a great story for all of us on this panel. Man, I mean, BYU has, but that line is disrespectful. Steven, who you got?
Jay, I learned from you, man. You told us about this when it doesn't make sense, it doesn't pass the smell test, go the other way. Give me UCF because of Jay here, okay? Because of Jay Smith, I'm picking UCF as well. Look, RJ Harvey, but for football reasons too. BYU is 7-0, yes. But if anybody that watched that Oklahoma State game, and I think Vegas watched that game too, this is not a great football team, okay? Not at all. They are mistake-prone. They've been winning games, and they've been handling their business in Provo. RJ Harvey's going to run all over them. KJ's going to run all over them. They can't stop the run. And they make, again, the mistakes that I've been seeing from BYU, the luck ends here. I think Vegas is onto this. Give me UCF.
All right, Ty, who you got?
Not so fast, my friend. Listen, we want to talk about mistakes. This is a UCF team. We can't just talk about the mistakes of BYU and not talk about one of the most mistake-riddled teams I've seen this year, UCF. KJ's supposed to take care of the ball? Really? I mean, at what point do we just let our eyes tell us what it is? 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and let's be honest, yes, UCF runs the ball very well. Colorado shut this run down, and Colorado's defense is much improved. They don't have Ollie Gordon on that UCF running back room. They don't. Every time they have faced anybody with a pulse, all of a sudden it's not there. Give me BYU.
Wow, he said Harvey isn't better than Gordon. Give me Nino. What you got?
He's not.
Hey, we're going to split this thing down the middle. Give me BYU too, man. I got BYU in this game. Look here, man. They are not going to lose this game. They ain't going to lose this game, man. BYU is a more complete team. Yes, they have had a few questionable wins, man, but they showed up. They beat Kansas State thoroughly. What was it, 38-9? They beat Arizona 41-10 or something like that. they have handled competition that they should handle. Yes, the Oklahoma State game was a little bit out of range there. However, they're still undefeated. They don't have the best players, I would say, on the field at all times, but they're better coached. They're better well prepared. And like Ty says, man, I think UCF's just a walking mistake also, man. So give me BYU to win this game.
All right, next game up. We're going to talk a little bit about this one. We got Missouri traveling to Tuscaloosa. Play against the Roll Tide. Now, Missouri comes into this game as a 17.5-point dogs. I'm going to get past this on to y'all because I've got Alabama winning this game. Brady Cook ain't playing. Ain't no reason for me to talk about this game. Steven, who you got?
I'm right there with you, Jay. I mean, no Brady Cook. I think Nasty is Nate Noel playing.
Nate's playing either.
Yeah,
Mookie Cooper is not playing.
Mookie, it's over.
Oh God, keep going down. Keep going.
Yeah, and I don't like the way Bama's been playing. I said this last week, and I told you guys, as I was the only person that picked Tennessee, by the way, but even Bama will get their stuff right against this. For Kalen DeBoer's livelihood in Tuscaloosa this week, he needs to win this game, and his team needs to respond. So give me Bama.
Yeah, if you're going to win anywhere, you better win at the crib. Ty, who you got?
Yeah, give me Bama. That Tennessee loss absolutely hurts. The more you rewatch it, the more you're just like, what more do you need to squander away? Alabama's defense had their get-right game. The offense didn't capitalize on anything. Receivers running wide open, can't hit them. I don't think that's going to be the case this week against Missouri. I think Alabama has their get-right game. I think the offense shows up. Their defense has been playing a bit better. I was very much well encouraged against Tennessee. Give me Bama because Missouri is just so injured.
Wrap us up.
Clean sweep, come fade us, man. Give me Alabama. Look, it's going to be deep balls galore. Pause. Milroe to Ryan Williams all game, and also give me some law to this game too, man. So look, man, Bama's going to win this game. It's going to be pretty easy too, man. All the playmakers here, for those Tigers are not there, man. Brady Cook being gone, Mookie Cooper being gone, Nasty Nate being gone. It's going to be a bad day for Missouri. You think A&M beat them bad? It's going to be even worse for Bama because Bama's out to get blood this week. Give me Bama.
All right, next game. We're going to do a quickie here. We got Illinois traveling out to the West Coast to play the Oregon Ducks. Now, this one, another spread that I felt was a little disrespectful. Oregon is a 22-point favorite in this game. And Steven has sold me on this Illinois defense, right? From the beginning of the season. I like their secondary. I like how they play. The only thing is, though, Oregon is firing on all cylinders, not only in the pass game, but in the run game and in the defense. At every level, they are playing their lights out. I think Oregon wins this game, but I do not think they cover the spread. I think Illinois muddies it up. The Fighting Brent Bielema are going to have this game low scoring. Give me Oregon, but I think Illinois is going to cover that spread. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, I know how much I love this Illinois team. I know how much I love defensive coordinator Aaron Henry, everything that they've been doing. Yet again, they came through against Michigan last week. Big. Illinois has had a tremendous season, in my opinion. The one loss was at Penn State. They fought their asses off, only 21-7, and they covered that one, right? I agree with Jay, though. I think this is a little too much in Eugene. I think they're going to turn over Gabriel a couple of times, but that's not going to be enough. They're not going to be able to stop the run. Or I'm sorry, they're not going to be able to run the ball the way I'd like to help out Luke Altmaier, who still only has one interception on the year. He's playing really good football.
That is true.
I mean, but it's just not enough. Just a little too much firepower. Dan Lanning, Oregon. Give me Oregon at the crib. Illinois is going to cover this thing, though. These boys fight, and they will fight to the last snap of the game. Trust me on that.
Yeah, they definitely are fighters. We'll say that. Ty, who you got?
What'd you say the spread was?
22, Oregon.
That's disrespectful. Give me Oregon to win, but I don't see 22. Listen, I've been very impressed by Oregon. I think that they have been clicking. They have been surging. This isn't I don't think they can cover because this. For Oregon, I don't know that they cover because I think Illinois is a better team than that, right? I think that they are a really solid game for anybody out there. Now, that being said, I do think Oregon is surging at the right time. You want to be having your get-right period at the end of October, end of November, especially with the expanded playoff. So I do like Oregon to win this game, but they're not playing someone who's going to lay down. They are going to be excellent in pass defense. Now, the one thing is, I think Oregon's going to be able to run the ball. Illinois is outside the top 70 rush defenses in the nation. I think that's going to be the catalyst for this Oregon offense.
All right, Nino, who you got?
It's another clean sweep, man. And Ty took every damn talking point I wanted to talk about. So
we got to flip these orders sometimes.
Hey, man, Oregon's going to win this game, man. They are kind of peaking at the right moment, so they're kind of surging right now. So DG's been playing awesome too as well, man. Give me Oregon in this game.
All right, next game. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to let the Texas guys get their moment to shine. We got the Texas Longhorns traveling to Nashville to play against those Vanderbilt Commodores. This game, Texas is an 18.5-point favorite on the road. And we normally don't talk about those spreads, but the last time that we had a spread this large, it was unfortunately for our guy Ty in here. And we've got questions around Quinn Ewers. He got benched during the Georgia game to come back in and I guess play okay. The questions are still around quarterback. Is it time to put Arch Manning in the game? It's all you see on social media. It's pretty ridiculous, but at the same time, I get it. It's what gets clicks. I think Texas wins this game, though. The Diego Pavia show is going to continue. He's going to make it painful for them the entire game. They may even win the time of possession. But I think Texas has enough players that are better than Vanderbilt to go ahead and close this game out. Do I think they cover the 18.5? No. But I do think they end up winning the game in the end. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, give me Texas here. And I think one thing we're looking to see off of last week, will the real Quinn Ewers please stand up? But I think what you're going to see is regardless of Quinn Ewers' performance, this team is going to rally around him to help uplift him. Mm-hmm. And that starts with physicality at the line of scrimmage. Texas, if you want to come into a team meeting and motivate some kids, show them the first half of how they looked at the line of scrimmage against Georgia last week and say, hey, is that a competitive effort for a team that has aspirations on winning a national championship? So I think they come out and they try to send a message physically against Vanderbilt. Now, Pavia is him, right? I mean, yeah. The metrics came out, Pro Football Focus, big time throw percentage versus turnover worthy throw percentage. And Pavia was all the way in the upper right-hand quadrant where you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. So tremendous job. On top of that, triple option concepts that Vanderbilt's going to run, it is going to be a challenge for this Texas defense. But the offense, special teams I look for in this game to get Texas a lead to kind of milk and help carry things home. And I think we kind of, quench the fires a little bit around Quinn Ewers. Give me Texas here in Nashville.
Ty, who you got?
Yeah, give me Texas. I'm like you, Jay. I don't necessarily like them to cover. Here's my big question for Texas. Are you going to establish the run? Steve Sarkisian's offense is based heavily around play action. We look at Georgia. You didn't establish the run. They didn't respect play action. They pinned their ears back, and they absolutely had Quinn Ewers in that offensive line in hell. Georgia whooped them up front. I don't think Vandy has the same ability to do so, and this Texas offensive line is incredibly talented. Here's what I will say. If Texas makes the same mistakes as Alabama, where you turn the ball over early, this is not an offense that you want to play catch-up on, right? It's just not. And the concepts they have offensively, it's not things that you can just easily replicate in practice. But because Texas is coming off of a loss, I look for them to be focused. I look for them to come out with intent and to have a cleanup game. And because of that, I have Texas winning the game.
Nino, wrap us up. Clean sweep.
Hey, man. Yeah, man, it's a clean sweep. Texas is going to win this game, man. So there are some guys that are saying that Bond's not going to play this week, or he's doubtful. If that happens, man, I'm looking at this being the Ryan Wingo game. Ryan Wingo's uber, talented 5-star guy. I got a feeling this is going to be his game this week. If Texas does get the run, man, Trey Wisner has to get the run established there at Texas. Texas offensive line is just too good. Texas defense, even with the game last week against Georgia, is still ranked as the number one defense, I think, in the country this year. So their defense is balling out. Barron is balling out. The whole secondary is doing a great job, which is one thing that Fans didn't know if the Texas defense has, just had been tested in that secondary, but they showed up last week and got 3 picks last week. Give me Texas to win this game. I think Ryan Winkle has a huge game this week. And look, I'm going to go out on the limb. I think Texas covers this game.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Next game. Now this one we should go very quickly on. Don't even pretend like we shouldn't go quick. We've got Florida State traveling to play against Miami. Miami's a 21-point favorite. I'm not even going to even think about this. Florida State is absolute doggy doo. And the dude hasn't eaten the doggy doo yet to get the curse lifted. Give me Miami. Steven, who you got?
I feel awful for Florida State fans. No, I don't.
I was about to say I don't.
No, I don't. Y'all brought this on yourselves.
Dudes they argued against last year. Come on now.
You brought this on yourselves. Give me Miami every which way. Cam Ward, he can play in this game. He doesn't have to play. Florida State is one of the worst football teams I've seen play football this year. And I don't know if Ty or Jay or Nino has the numbers on Mike Norvell, but I don't think they can even afford to fire the guy, which even makes it worse.
It's like $70 million.
Yes,
It's like
Nick Saban
million.
retiring got him a 6-year extension.
This is a dumpster
Shout out
fire.
Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go
Ty.
into that. Yeah, listen.
Ty, you're up.
This is one of those games where I don't even have to talk analysis. I can give you the lowdown on the background. Give me Miami. Obviously, put that graphic up there. Jimmy Sexton played Florida State like a fiddle. You had one good year, and it was a great year. I give you that until Georgia dog walked you, but that's neither here nor there. Jimmy Sexton then tells Florida State, hey, Bama's going to try and hire this guy. Let's up the contract. They take the bait. Ladies and gentlemen, the plane was in Seattle. Tallahassee is a shorter flight from Tuscaloosa than is Seattle. Norvell wasn't on the radar. But nobody thought, hey, maybe we should fact check this. Let's see the contract proposed. Nope. They just gave him all the money they had, and now they're stuck with a guy that doesn't want to recruit, got very lucky in the transfer portal, wants to live and die in the transfer portal. You're not going to get Jared Verses and Keon Coleman's in the transfer portal every single year, especially not after this year. I'm done.
Wow. Ether. Nino, you want to wrap us up? I thought we was going quick, but it didn't appear.
Hey, man, Miami, look, Florida State, you guys are in the same position that Texas A&M was in when they had Jimbo, and that was you got to wait this out a few more years until you can afford to pay out his buyout. Hopefully you guys can afford the $70 million. I doubt you can. So in that realm, I'm going to continue to see you guys win 2 to 3 games a year for the next 3 years.
It's on another level.
I'm just talking about the
worse
payout.
than Jimbo.
I'm just talking about the payout. Like how do you extend a guy? You got 6 years, almost 10 million. Yeah, man. Look, Miami. Here's what it is.
Jimmy
Sexton. All right, we'll move on to the next game. We could go all day about this Florida State situation and how bad it's gone. We're going to go to the next one. Now, this one is the game that kept me awake, and I think it kept everybody else up too. We've got LSU traveling to College Station to play Texas A&M. Right now, the Aggies are a 1-point favorite. Open at 3, roughly around 1.5 to 1 now. Fascinating. I struggled with this game. Both of these teams are coming in with 6-game winning streaks. Both teams are coming in undefeated in conference, 4-0 and 3-0 respectfully. Both of these teams have been playing their best ball even when injuries have hit. A&M losing Connor Weigman a few times. You had LSU lose Harold Perkins. It looks like their defense got better, right? Their running backs have been just atrocious. And then Caden Durham, the true freshman, walks in and starts to dominate. Everything you could imagine that was supposed to line up in this game has been crazy for them this season. Now we get a matchup. I tossed and turned on this one. I did not click send on this until right before I got on the plane to come where I'm at now because I did not know. I did not know who. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out and say, with the injuries, taking Texas A&M to win this game. And it's nothing against LSU in this. It's just that it's at College Station and both teams are balling out. Steven, who you got?
I struggle with this one too, Jay. This fellas, doesn't this feel like a playoff game? little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really does.
Feels like a playoff game. And shout out to these two teams being the last remaining undefeated teams in SEC play and earning the right to really take sole control into November, whoever wins this game. I mean, when you look at these teams historically as they've matched up, each one has held serve at home. So it makes sense, Jay, picking at College Station really since the 74-72 game. Every game after that, each team has held serve at home. Here's my thing, though, in terms of when I look at where do we break this? The offensive line is dominant. Will Campbell, those guys have been fantastic, and now they're actually opening up holes in the run game. Mm-hmm. How do they match up against Nick Scorton and that Texas A&M defensive front, Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner? That is a heavyweight matchup in itself, folks. I just look at how LSU looked going into Arkansas against Landon Jackson. That film is very favorable to LSU. And now that we got a young Caden Durham in there running hard, A&M has not seen a passing attack like LSU. They did have some struggles with Van Buren and some balls downfield, but they have not seen what Nuss and them are going to do. Give me LSU here in a very, 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 very close game. I think that they're just going to be able to push that up to a score that Connor Weigman and that his ground attack, which is also very good, led by Le'Veon Moss, won't be able to keep up with. I think it's going to be something like 30-27. But if this game is in the teens, I like A&M, but I think it's going to go to 30-27. Give me LSU.
I like that. The win point total is 54.5. So, Steven, I think you might be close on that. Ty, who you got?
I got a question for you, Jay. Did you switch your pick after we came on here?
I did not.
Did you send an email and switch your pick? Okay.
No, I had A&M from jump.
The green room conversation?
Yeah. The reason I ask is because there was an updated injury report for LSU that includes Chris Hilton Jr. and C.J. Daniels as questionable for this game. I'd already submitted my pick for LSU, and I'm going to ride with it. Now, let me give credit where it is due. Texas A&M, I said this when y'all hired Mike Elko, that you made the right move. You got a guy I thoroughly believe in. I think A&M is only going to go up from here. I'm just really encouraged with what I have seen from Texas A&M. The difference in team camaraderie between Elko in year one and Jimbo, you can't compare it. You were already light years better in that category. I'm very excited for the future of Texas A&M. Great move. And A&M was actually a team I picked on this very app to be a sleeper in the SEC that you had to watch for because I believe in Mike Elko so much. But I'm going to take LSU. I'm going to take LSU because Nussmeier in this offense, if those wide receivers play, they are dangerous. This offense is phenomenal, and I must eat crow, guys. LSU's defense has been better than I thought it would be this year, and that's due to hires by that. I was there. I didn't think their defense would be as good as it is. I think they still have a ways to go, but the improvement you've shown, I mean, that's incredibly reassuring. Give me LSU, mainly because I need LSU to win.
All right, Nino, wrap us up.
Being a guy from the Bayou, man, I got to go with them Bayou Bengals, man. Give me LSU to win this game, man. Look, it's going to be a hell of a game. LSU's offensive line versus A&M's defensive line is going to be a bloodfest, man. I cannot wait to see that. Caden Durham, man, he is doing his thing. Kid coming from Duncanville High School, man. But one thing that I want to tell fans, LSU has a bye week after this week. So they're going to go all out this week. They can afford to do some things and take some, just take some plays that they probably wouldn't take in a week where they got to go play Bama the next week or something like that, right? So they're going to come out and go all full throttle this game. They have a bye week to recover. Give me LSU to win this game. But it's going to be tight, man. It's going to be a very tight and close game.
Yeah, LSU needs that bye week because they got Bama right afterwards. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Steve.
Quick question. The winner of this game, are they in the SEC championship game?
Ooh.
Yes.
If A&M wins this game, yes.
Maybe.
Oh, LSU.
Let me know in the chat.
Schedule?
Y'all let me know in the chat. I know we got to go.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
There's still some.
Let us know in the chat.
Down. right? Like after this, Bama LSU is not next week, in 2 weeks. And I'm not saying Bama's going to make it. That's not my contention. I'm just saying that could throw a wrench in it. No. Listen, I'm realistic here.
Yes.
It could throw a real wrench in it in terms of Texas and Georgia, depending on how that game goes down.
Yep. How they finish
That's
out.
very true. This game has SEC championship implications. This is why I love it so much. Next game, we're going to go quickly on these last two.
Good game.
Fascinating one. We've got Penn State traveling to play against Wisconsin, an old school Big Ten battle. Right now, Penn State is a 6.5-point favorite on the road. I struggled with this one too. Not as much as I did the last one. This was a tough one. Wisconsin's defense is balling out right now. The run game is starting to show up. Locke is throwing the ball, okay. But their run game is literally leading it out. Penn State, though, they got that W on the road against USC, win the OT. They're playing some better football. And I guess Drew Aller is out here trying to show us that he should be getting drafted in the NFL. I don't know. But I'm going to say this. Give me Wisconsin for the upset. I feel like this is the perfect trap opportunity for Wisconsin to come in there and win this game. Look, I did not have anything against Penn State in this one, but Penn State's got Ohio State next week. This is the perfect trap game of the week. Give me Wisconsin to go ahead and pull that bad boy out. Steven, who you got?
Hell of a pick, Jay. I see you trying to make moves this week.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I see.
I see you trying to make moves this week. And that's that. Look, I'm going Penn State. I'll make it quick. I think they're the better football team. Wisconsin's still a little banged up. Now I've ridden the Wisconsin train before, and it was fruitful for me earlier this year versus Rutgers. This is a little bit of a different animal. I do like the way Drew Aller and them have been playing, and I like the fact that Penn State has won games multiple ways this year. Okay, that game at USC showed me something. When they got in trouble at home against Illinois, they showed me something. So I'm starting to I'm building trust with James Franklin and this group because of the multitude of ways that they've won. I feel comfortable staying with Penn State here, but that is a great upset pick by one Jay Smith.
Ty, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take Penn State in this game, guys. Once again, I think we need to reverse the order of how we go in these things. Sometimes Steven took pretty much every talking point I had. The one little joke I can throw onto this is Wisconsin's not a top 15 ranked team, so James Franklin's going to win. He just doesn't win those top 15 ranked matchups, right?
That's cool.
Wisconsin's really good, though. But I have been very encouraged with what I've seen from Penn State. But, Jay, I do love your upset pick for a lot of the reasons you gave. If you were to make an upset pick, I think a lot of the reasons you gave make sense, right? Ohio State next week. Could you look ahead? Wisconsin's been up and down, but I think Penn State gets this one done.
All right, Nino, wrap us up.
James Franklin is not looking ahead because he can't afford to look ahead. Give me Penn State, man. Penn State's coming off a bye. Great win against USC. Just like Steven said, they're coming up with a bunch of ways to win the games. Where it's defense one game, where there's offense one game, where there's special teams. Look, they're coming in healthy, having that bye. Wisconsin is coming in banged up. I like Penn State to win this game, but it will be a close game. They will be the more healthier team, the fresher team. So give me James Franklin and his squad to win this game.
All right, next game, our last one before we hit that spread. We've got, not sure why this was on the list, but we'll take it. Kansas traveling to Manhattan to play against Kansas State.
Wait, Kansas is playing football this year?
Exactly. And the funny thing is, they're not even playing them at Lawrence. They're playing them at Arrowhead. Kansas State is a 10-point favorite in this game in Manhattan. I'm just going to be simple, man. Give me Kansas State. I think Avery Johnson has been balling out. Yeah. DJ Giddens is ridiculous in the run game. That's it. And Jalen Daniels has not been the Jalen Daniels of old. That back is definitely not working out the way we thought it would. Give me Kansas State. I think they go out there, and I think they cover the spread with no problem. Steven, who you got?
I know Kansas had a bounce-back win the other week, but they've been one of the most disappointing teams in the country. When you think about it, I mean, it's funny how many Big 12 teams are in that disappointing team in the country list, by the way. Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State, a whole bunch of these teams. But
Oklahoma State.
Kansas State, I think they've won 15 straight in this series. Is that true? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They've won like 15 in a row. So give me Kansas State here. Kansas is just no. Give me Kansas State here. I don't even have analysis for this.
Yeah, they can't run. Their pass game hasn't been that great. Ty, who you got?
The way he cut off of that was just like pure hopelessness in his voice. And I'm going to feed off of that. Give me Kansas State. What happened to Jalen Daniels? I mean, what he did not
right there.
Now. Touchdowns, interceptions. This team is a shell of the Kansas team we saw not long ago. Kansas State hasn't been quite the team I thought they would be this year, but I don't think it matters. They have been getting wins. They have been stacking wins. I was really disappointed in that BYU loss, but I think that once again, they're peaking at the right time. They had some snags, identity things early in the year. Who do we want to be? Now they're figuring it out. And luckily they have an absolute can in front of them. So, yeah.
That's very true. Nino. Clean sweep.
Clean sweep, and ain't nobody going to want to fade this if it is because they think the same damn thing. Kansas State's going to win this game. Hey, man, look, Kansas had a 5-game losing streak, man, to Illinois, UNLV, West Virginia, TCU, Arizona State. Then they beat the Fighting Cougars of Houston. Now they're 2-5. This is the Kansas I remember, folks. When I went to school, this is the Kansas I'm used to. I'm used to Kansas that's going to go 4-8, 2 or 3 wins against non-conference folks, maybe 1 in conference. They got their 1 in conference against Houston. Kansas State's going to smash them. Iowa State's going to kill them. BYU's going to do the same thing. Colorado's going to murder them. And they might have a shot at Baylor at the end of the year to finish 3-9. Give me Kansas State, man. This is the Kansas that I have remembered my entire life, being the bottom feeders of the Big 12.
Nino,
Man,
by the way, I
the
just
most disappointing
confirmed.
team in the Big 12.
I just confirmed that Kansas State has, in fact, won the last 15 games against Kansas.
Oh, the last 15? Make it 16.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but before quickly, who is the most disappointing team in the Big 12?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
I
Easily.
agree. Okay.
Yeah.
They
I'd
walked
say
in with the
Utah.
most experience outside of Iowa State. They should
I
be.
forgot
at least
Utah's in the Big 12 now. I keep forgetting
Utah's 1-3
Yeah.
in the Big 12.
But
Oklahoma State's
The
worse.
only reason is the
Cam
quarterback
Rising.
injury.
yeah,
Yeah, they've been dealing with Cam Rising for they should have moved off the Cam Rising train years ago, but I digress.
I think they might.
like Cam, but
Spread,
he
our
goes
spread
so
of the
sure.
week. Sorry, y'all, we're not going to do Colorado this week, but we will make sure they are back on the docket next. We've got Ohio State is a 25.5-point favorite versus Nebraska. Look, I know that Ohio State has a road game against Penn State next week. That, to me, is the game they're going to pay the most attention to. While at the same time, Nebraska still has a freshman quarterback. They're playing really good defense. They've got a freshman quarterback. So Ohio State's going to try their hardest to make things as difficult as possible. I think Ohio State covers this spread. Steven.
So I like Nebraska to cover the spread. And that's coming off of that belt to ass situation they got versus Indiana.
Shoot.
Matt
Right.
Rule.
Hey,
Matt Rule's got to save face, brother. I mean, I'm not saying win the game, but I'm saying, bro, we got to win a fight or something. So give me
Pinch him.
to save
Pinch him.
face. Something.
Pinch him.
Go
Pinch
ahead,
him.
Ty.
Stephen, to your point, last week we took a lot of flack for taking
Get him.
IU,
Indiana.
right?
All
Yeah,
of us took
Indiana.
one.
And
Yeah. Where
I'm
they
not
at?
seeing
Are they in the chat?
some of the people who were calling us idiots, all of this, maybe just
Where them Cornhusker fans at?
just
Where them corns
maybe
at?
They eating
we were
corn.
on to something. But I'm going to tell you what else we're on to. Ohio State is not covering this game. I don't see any... Listen, Ohio State is a very good team. Easily one of the better teams in college football. And Nebraska is not a can. And Jay, to your point, I think that Ohio State... This isn't a trap game, but they have a big opponent next week. This, to me, feels like Vegas is begging people. Take the spread. Take the spread. Please, take it so that we can profit. Give me Nebraska to cover the spread.
I like that, Nino. Wrap us up. Then we got Mortal Locks.
Hey, man. So Steven said that, when it comes to Nebraska, Rule has to, get some get back and fight back. Steven, he's going to fight back. He won't lose by 49 this week, but he will lose by 30. Give me Ohio State to cover this game, man, okay? Ohio State's going to cover. They're going to fight back. They're going to punch a little bit. I'm just saying, bro. They're going to cover. They're going to try. They're going to fight back. It won't be 49, baby. It'll be 30. You know what I'm saying?
Can we find him for that?
Give me Ohio State to cover this thing, man.
All right. Mortal Locks. That was dastardly. That really was. Mortal Locks of the week. All right, here's mine. Somebody's got to figure something out. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change around here. Give me Oklahoma plus 20.5. That just feels like a disrespectful line, especially because Ole Miss has barely scored half the amount of points that they've scored out of conference in conference so far. Their offense has not been the same, and they may be out 2 wide receivers, not 1, but 2. Trey Harris doesn't look like he's going to play. Cade Young may not play. That accounts for 60 catches this season. Just those 2 dudes. If they're down and then Princely's out on the defensive side, Oklahoma fired the offensive coordinator. Thank God. Now they should actually be able to show at least 1 week of bounce back. At least 1 week. Now I can say later on in the season teams will figure some stuff out. But right now, give me 1 week of freaking bounce back. I think Oklahoma covers this spread. Steven, who you got?
Same state, different team. Give me Oklahoma State money line at Baylor. Oklahoma State. Okay.
That's a good.
It's look.
That's a good.
That's a good one.
Look, they are 6.5 point dogs in this game. However, they are.
It's a good one.
They're going to win their first Big 12 game. At some point they have to win their first Big 12 game. They have not won a Big 12 game yet. That is true. So at some point, they're either going to win a Big 12 game, and at some point, Baylor needs to win a home game. So I like Oklahoma State more than I like Baylor, getting off the schneid. Give me Oklahoma State here. Alan Bowman's back because Rangel's collarbone got crushed in the BYU game. But I did see enough fight. This is Mike Gundy's and these seniors' last stand for pride purposes, or else the rest of the schedule, it looks terrible for them. So I like Oklahoma State money line. I'm picking another dog this week, for my mortal lock.
I need my numbers too. Ty, who you got?
I'm telling you, do you need an intern, Steve? An understudy, if you will? You've been having some great mortal lock picks in all seriousness, like ones that I think back to on Saturday, and I'm like, man, that was a great pick. I'm going money line as well. BYU to beat UCF. I just don't believe in UCF at all, right? Now, Jay, I do think that y'all cover, but I don't think it's because of the offense. I think it's because y'all have a really solid defense, right? I just that's how I see that game.
No, I don't argue that at all. Oh, pain. So much pain. Nino, who you got?
I'm right there with you.
First off, OU sucks. Second of all, my mortal.
Okay, now we have to find it.
Yes!
Nino's spicy today.
Man. I'm feeling spicy today. My mortal lock's going to be LSU's going to outright win this game against Texas A&M. I just think that they're going to win the game. They're going to cover the spread. I think LSU is a 1-point dog this game. Give me LSU to not only cover the spread, but win this game as well, man. LSU goes in the Cal Field, destroys that 12th man, wins the game. Go buy you Bengals.
All right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at these final picks. My goodness, I cannot believe the level of disrespect that I received here. But hey, I'm the one going out on the limb this week. Let's see if it actually pays off. And the standings so far for the season, let's take a look at those real quick. and see who has cheated their way to the top so that I can complain to leadership. I think it's is it Steven still cheating? Yep, it's Steven still cheating. Look at him, man. I saw that. Hey, Ty, that's what it is. That's how he knows about those mortal locks. So yeah, his
mortal locks have been masterful. Like in all seriousness, his mortal locks have been masterful. Great mortal locks.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them being so great. So, all right, we appreciate y'all pulling up to the College Football Prediction Roundtable presented here live on the Bleacher Report app. For Steven, Ty, and Nino, I am Jay. We will catch y'all next Friday. See you on the other side of the W. Horns down.
Oh, you suck.